Hello brothers and welcome to Sigma Old Man channel. Solitude is not the absence of love, it's the rejection of noise. They say modern men are afraid of commitment, but that's not true. Some men aren't afraid of relationships, they're just allergic to nonsense. Sigma males don't ghost love, they ghost chaos disguised as connection. In a world where dating feels more like a performance than a partnership, where filters hide emptiness and conversations sound like recycled captions, the Sigma male quietly exits the stage. Not because he hates love, but because he refuses to audition for it. Here's a fact that might sting. According to a recent study, over 63% of high-intelligence introverted men remain single past 30. Not by bad luck, but by choice. These men aren't broken, cold, or emotionally unavailable. They're just done pretending that shallow water is the ocean. So when a Sigma stays single for years, it's not loneliness, it's quality control. He's not running from women, he's dodging illusions. He's the man who'd rather share silence with peace than conversation with pretense. And as funny as it sounds, he's not antisocial. He just treats his energy like it's on a subscription plan, and most people's free trial expired long ago. This isn't a story about fear of commitment. It's a story about spiritual selectiveness in a world addicted to noise. Let's unpack why Sigma males stay single for years, and why, truthfully, it's not their fault. Number one, they're unimpressed by access. In today's world, everyone is accessible. You can scroll through someone's entire life before even meeting them. What used to take years to learn about a person is now available in a few minutes on their profile. But for Sigma males, that easy access kills the mystery, and with it, the attraction. They grew up valuing privacy, subtlety, and depth. To them, access without essence feels hollow. When everyone is shouting to be seen, they find power in staying silent. Sigma males see through the modern performance of connection. They notice how oversharing has become a marketing strategy, not a reflection of honesty. Every authentic post feels calculated. Every online flirtation feels like a public audition. And in that noise, something real gets lost. So when they meet someone who flaunts their life for likes or validation, they don't judge. They just quietly disengage. They crave presence, not exposure. It's not that they dislike people, they just value what's rare. In a world where everyone's available 24/7, genuine restraint stands out. The Sigma male respects those who keep parts of themselves unspoken, those who don't feel the need to broadcast every mood or moment. Because mystery isn't about hiding, it's about protecting the sacred. When you can access someone too easily, you stop being curious. And Sigma males live off curiosity. They want layers to unfold naturally, not through a social feed. They don't chase because real intrigue doesn't need chasing. It needs time, space, and authenticity. That's why they often stay single. It's not that no one wants them. It's that too many people are already too available, too easy to read, too eager to be known. The Sigma male isn't impressed by access. He's drawn to depth that takes patience to uncover. In a world that trades secrets for attention, he's the rare man who still believes some things are worth earning slowly. Number two, the emotional delay. Response. Sigma males don't rush into feelings. They process emotions the way they process everything else, quietly, privately, and deeply. When most people are swept up by instant attraction or early excitement, a Sigma male is observing. He's not cold, he's cautious. He knows how deceptive chemistry can be and how easily charm can disguise instability. So he watches. He studies patterns, consistency, and reactions under pressure. What looks like emotional distance is actually emotional intelligence at work. They've learned the hard way that rushing into connection often leads to disappointment. So now they give it time. They don't mistake warmth for compatibility or attention for depth. They want to see if someone's words align with their energy over time, not just in the first few weeks when everything is effortless. For a Sigma, love isn't about how fast it starts. It's about whether it can survive silence, space, and honesty. This emotional delay often confuses people. Many take it personally, thinking he's not interested. But the truth is, he's testing emotional durability. He wants to know if what he's feeling is real or just reactionary. While others chase sparks, he's looking for endurance. That pause between attraction and attachment is where his power lies. In a fast-paced dating world where everything is designed for instant gratification, his slowness is almost rebellious. People are used to quick validation, instant replies, fast chemistry, constant communication. But the Sigma male doesn't play that game. His pace filters out those who are only comfortable in chaos. The ones who can't handle patience expose themselves early. He's not emotionally unavailable, he's emotionally precise. When he finally opens up, it's not out of impulse, it's out of certainty. That's why his connections, though rare, are powerful. He doesn't waste his emotions trying to make temporary people permanent. His delayed response isn't hesitation, it's wisdom. And that's exactly why most don't understand him until it's too late. Number 3, the unforgivable. Calm Sigma males carry a calm that unsettles people. It's not arrogance, boredom, or indifference. It's a quiet mastery of self. In a world addicted to drama, emotional spikes, and constant reaction, their calm becomes almost threatening. Most relationships thrive on turbulence, even subconsciously. People mistake passion for instability and chaos for connection. But the Sigma male doesn't need that adrenaline rush. He doesn't feed off conflict or emotional spectacle. He simply exists, steady and unshakable, while the rest of the world spins in drama. This calm exposes the truth about those around him. People who are used to controlling situations, provoking reactions, or thriving on attention find themselves powerless in his presence. There's nothing to manipulate, nothing to provoke, and nothing to excite for the sake of excitement. That absence of volatility makes some uncomfortable, and many mistake it for disinterest or coldness. In reality, he's just unbothered by the chaos that consumes everyone else. Because of this, Sigma males often stay single longer than most. They don't chase fleeting excitement or validate people's moods. They don't need constant reassurance or social approval, which makes them incompatible with anyone seeking drama as a substitute for real connection. Their calm forces honesty out of others, revealing who is genuine and who is addicted to emotional turbulence. It's also why when a Sigma finally does open himself to someone, it's powerful and rare. He doesn't hand his heart over lightly because his calm is not a mask. It's a reflection of emotional sovereignty. The people who fail to appreciate that sovereignty leave, thinking it's aloofness. They're used to chaos, not stability. The unforgivable calm is a filter. It keeps out anyone who isn't ready for depth, patience, and authenticity. It's why most Sigma males don't just drift through relationships. They choose them carefully, only letting in those who can handle the stillness and strength that others often fear. And that's exactly why the world misreads them, while they stay perfectly fine in their solitude, untouched and unshaken. Number 4, the emotional intelligence trap. Sigma males often carry an emotional intelligence that most people can't even recognize, let alone match. They feel deeply, notice patterns, and sense undercurrents in ways others miss entirely. But here's the trap. Their intelligence makes them incompatible with people who are emotionally reckless, chaotic, or performative. While others react impulsively, Sigma males observe, analyze, and respond with precision. They feel everything, but they rarely show it outwardly because their energy is deliberate and their emotions are measured. In a world that prizes loud declarations, dramatic gestures, and constant validation, their quiet understanding is often mistaken for indifference. Someone might assume he's detached or unfeeling, when in reality he's absorbing every nuance and processing it internally. The emotional depth he carries is invisible to most, and that invisibility becomes a barrier in relationships. People who crave constant feedback, reassurance, or overt displays of emotion quickly feel neglected, even when the Sigma male is more attuned than anyone else could be. This mismatch drives many Sigma males toward prolonged solitude. It's not that they don't want connection, they crave it. But the type of connection they seek requires patience, maturity, and subtlety. Most emotionally reckless people are simply unable to provide that. They misunderstand the Sigma's restraint for coldness, and they mistake his observation for judgment. The trap deepens because the Sigma male can't easily lower his standards without compromising his integrity. He isn't willing to teach someone how to respect emotional subtlety or navigate deep self-awareness. He's too aware of how quickly emotional recklessness can destabilize not just a relationship, but his own mental equilibrium. In essence, their emotional intelligence is a double-edged sword. It allows them to understand people at a level few can, but it also isolates them from the majority who operate on impulsivity, noise, and superficial drama. Their depth becomes a filter, and anyone who can't swim in those waters will simply drift away, leaving the Sigma male alone, but emotionally whole. Number 5, their standards aren't about looks, they're about energy. Sigma males aren't impressed by superficial appearances. They don't measure attraction by the size of a smile, the shape of a body, or the polish of social media personas. What truly matters to them is energy, the subtle signals someone radiates in words, actions, and presence. They can sense desperation, validation-seeking, or artificiality before it even fully manifests, and that perception guides every interaction they choose to continue or cut short. This sensitivity makes their standards far higher than most people realize. They aren't picky in a shallow sense. They're discerning on a level that most can't even detect. While others focus on looks or charm, the Sigma male is tuned into the invisible patterns of authenticity. He notices when someone's kindness is performative, when confidence masks insecurity, or when flirtation is a transaction rather than an expression. The tiniest inconsistencies trigger internal alarms, and he quietly disengages before investing his time, energy, or emotion. It's not cynicism, it's survival of self. Sigma males protect their peace and mental space rigorously, and energy is the first indicator of whether someone belongs there. They understand that the emotional toll of entertaining fakeness is far heavier than solitude. That's why they often remain single for years, not because they can't attract people, but because most people fail the invisible test of energetic honesty. This standard also explains why Sigma males appear elusive or indifferent. They're not cold, they're selective. They are drawn only to people who carry steadiness, authenticity, and congruence between what they say and what they feel. Anything less is a distraction, a drain, or a potential source of chaos they refuse to invite into their lives. Ultimately, for the Sigma male, energy is a language louder than words, richer than appearances, and more revealing than any social signal. It dictates who stays in their orbit and who is quietly removed before real connection ever begins. Their standards aren't shallow, they're deeply tuned to authenticity, and anyone who can't match that frequency simply won't pass. Number 6, the cost of simplicity. Sigma males operate on a level of simplicity that most people can't comprehend. They keep their minds uncluttered, their emotions steady, and their inner lives disciplined. They don't chase drama, they don't thrive on social noise, and they don't get drawn into unnecessary conflicts. For them, life is about clarity, purpose, and intentional energy. They've learned that excess emotional turbulence and constant chaos are exhausting, and they refuse to let that energy be stolen. The problem is that the world misreads this simplicity. In a culture addicted to spectacle, overreaction, and constant stimulation, calmness is often mistaken for boredom. People assume that if someone doesn't constantly escalate situations, overshare, or perform for attention, they must be uninteresting. The Sigma male suffers from this misunderstanding constantly. While others mistake his quiet life for stagnation, he is actually thriving in a way few ever do. Their simplicity is intentional. Every thought, every word, and every action is filtered for impact and alignment with their core values. They don't clutter their energy with shallow drama or meaningless engagements. That means many people, especially those accustomed to emotional turbulence, find them inaccessible or too intense despite their apparent calm. In reality, they're just protecting their mental and emotional equilibrium. This commitment to simplicity often isolates them, but it's a trade-off they willingly accept. They'd rather walk alone, free from manipulation and chaos, than be entangled in emotional noise that others mistake for excitement. Their lives are uncluttered, not dull. Their focus is sharp, not cold. What the world sees as minimalism or detachment is actually mastery over self and circumstance. The cost of simplicity is misunderstood by most, but for the Sigma male, it's worth every sacrifice. Peace, clarity, and authentic connection outweigh superficial thrills. They aren't boring, they are liberated, and that liberation comes at the price of living outside the expectations of a noisy, overstimulated world. Number 7, the why are you so calm effect. Sigma males carry a kind of emotional stillness that most people can't handle. In a culture obsessed with reactions, drama, outbursts, and constant emotional signaling, their calm feels almost alien. While everyone else is chasing validation, attention, or emotional highs, the Sigma remains steady, measured, and unaffected by the chaos around him. That steadiness isn't a lack of feeling, it's mastery over it. But to others, it can feel like a challenge or even a threat. People are naturally drawn to test what they don't understand. When faced with a man who doesn't react the way they expect, partners often poke, prod, or provoke, trying to see if he'll break, overreact, or reveal hidden layers of insecurity. They mistake his calm for indifference, arrogance, or emotional detachment. They don't realize that his stillness is a shield, a sign of self-sufficiency, and a refusal to participate in meaningless emotional games. This effect often drives Sigma males to disappear quietly. The moment someone tries to manipulate their emotional state or force a reaction, they step back, not because they're disinterested or unloving, but because their peace is non-negotiable. They've seen too many people mistake volatility for depth, and they refuse to be part of that cycle. Their calm filters out anyone who cannot handle patience, maturity, and composure. Ironically, this stillness is magnetic to the right person. Someone who values stability, depth, and quiet strength will be drawn in, even if they don't immediately understand it. But for those who thrive on emotional turbulence, the Sigma's calm is intimidating, unnerving, and even uncomfortable. The why are you so calm effect is a paradox. It simultaneously attracts those capable of understanding true emotional control while repelling those addicted to chaos. It's not just a trait, it's a boundary, a filter, and a statement that some energies are simply not compatible with the Sigma way of life. Number 8, the trust scar tissue. Sigma males don't hand out trust lightly. Over the years, they've witnessed loyalty vanish the moment convenience or self-interest enters the equation. People who once seemed steadfast suddenly pivot, vanish, or betray expectations, and those experiences leave marks, emotional scar tissue that isn't bitterness, but a form of hard-earned calibration. Unlike most who continue to invest hope in others despite repeated disappointments, Sigma males learn the lesson once and carry it forward. This doesn't make them cynical, it makes them precise. They understand human behavior in ways most people don't. They can detect patterns, motives, and intentions before they fully play out. That awareness protects them from unnecessary heartache, but it also isolates them. They no longer assume loyalty as a default. They measure it, weigh it, and respond accordingly. Trust becomes earned, not given. For many, this makes Sigma males seem guarded, cold, or even unreachable. But beneath the surface, they feel deeply. They just no longer gamble on people who haven't proven themselves worthy of investment. Every interaction is filtered through the lens of experience, and only those who demonstrate consistency, integrity, and alignment with the Sigma's values break through the scar tissue. This emotional calibration also explains why Sigma males often stay single for years. Relationships aren't worth entering unless trust, authenticity, and respect are present from the start. Anything less threatens their peace, and they refuse to compromise on that. They've seen too much to pretend that hope alone is enough to sustain connection. In essence, their trust scar tissue is a silent superpower. It protects their energy, preserves their peace, and ensures that when they finally commit, it's to someone truly worthy. It's not about fear or avoidance. It's about living with precision, understanding human behavior, and refusing to let repeated disappointments dictate the quality of their life. For the Sigma male, trust is sacred, and it isn't given lightly. Number 9, misalignment between desire and freedom. Sigma males desire connection, but not at the cost of their autonomy. Modern relationships often come with unspoken rules, expectations, and compromises that can feel like subtle chains. For most people, these are minor concessions. For a Sigma, they're compromises that chip away at the peace and independence he values above all. The problem isn't the desire for companionship, it's that every conventional attachment model feels like a trade-off he isn't willing to make. They've spent years cultivating self-sufficiency, emotional stability, and mental clarity. Every decision, every boundary, and every daily routine is calibrated to maintain that equilibrium. Stepping into a relationship that demands constant validation, intrusion, or compromise is not just uncomfortable, it's suffocating. It's as unnatural as trying to breathe underwater. They aren't rejecting intimacy, they're protecting the hard-won sanctuary of their independence. This misalignment explains why Sigma males often remain single for extended periods. It's not that they don't feel loneliness or attraction, it's that the conventional paths to love feel restrictive and draining. Most people can't comprehend the value of preserving one's inner freedom, so they see the Sigma as distant or unavailable. But the reality is far more complex. They are fully capable of deep connection, but only when it does not require the surrender of self. In their relationships, Sigma males look for balance. They want someone who can exist as a whole person without imposing on their autonomy, someone who can respect silence, personal space, and the unspoken rules of emotional freedom. Anything less is incompatible. Ultimately, this misalignment is both their challenge and their gift. It filters out shallow or controlling partners while preserving the possibility of a rare, authentic connection. For the Sigma male, freedom is not negotiable, but love is still attainable, just on his terms. And that's what makes him simultaneously elusive and profoundly magnetic. Number 10, the observer's curse. Sigma males live in constant observation mode. They notice the subtle shifts in tone, the twitch of an eyebrow, the pause between words, the energy that underlies actions. Nothing escapes their attention. This hyper-awareness allows them to understand what people really mean, even when words or actions are designed to mislead. While others take statements at face value, Sigma males read the hidden scripts behind every interaction, often catching deceit, insecurity, or hidden motives long before anyone else does. This level of perception is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it keeps them safe from manipulation and emotional games. On the other, it makes vulnerability incredibly difficult. Relationships often require a suspension of disbelief, a willingness to trust that what you see is what you get. For a Sigma male, that illusion is nearly impossible to maintain. He sees through the layers, the masks, and the performative behaviors that most people rely on to connect. The moment someone tries to present a curated version of themselves, he registers it instantly and disengages mentally if he senses inconsistency. This is why Sigma males often appear distant or emotionally unavailable. They aren't cold, they're cursed with clarity. Their minds don't allow them to blindly surrender to feelings because they are acutely aware of how easily those feelings can be exploited or misunderstood. Emotional intimacy for them requires total honesty, consistency, and alignment between words, actions, and energy. Anything less is filtered out before it reaches the heart. The observer's curse isolates them but also protects them. It ensures that when they do connect deeply, it is with someone genuine, someone whose energy and intent are transparent. While others might stumble through relationships blinded by charm or surface-level attraction, the Sigma male navigates the emotional world with precision. That same precision, however, makes love a rare occurrence and explains why they often remain single, not because they cannot love, but because they refuse to love illusions. Number 11, hyper-awareness of manipulation. Sigma males have lived long enough to notice how often emotions are weaponized. They've seen the subtle traps, validation withheld to test loyalty, guilt-laced compliments designed to manipulate, affection doled out in precise doses to control behavior. They don't just detect these tactics, they feel them instinctively before words are even fully formed. Their minds are always scanning for patterns, decoding intentions, and anticipating hidden agendas. This level of awareness, while protective, makes genuine connection in today's emotionally transactional world extremely rare. Most people operate unconsciously, using manipulation without even realizing it. But for the Sigma male, those unconscious dynamics are glaringly obvious. A smile meant to soothe, a casual touch meant to provoke attachment, a subtle comment meant to destabilize, all are instantly registered. He doesn't overreact, he simply steps back, disengages, and protects his mental and emotional energy. To the outside observer, he might seem cold, indifferent, or unapproachable. The truth is far more precise. He refuses to participate in games that are designed to compromise his autonomy and peace. This hyper-awareness also explains why Sigma males stay single longer than most. Modern dating culture thrives on subtle manipulation. People measure each other's value through responses, reactions, and concessions, often mistaking control for intimacy. The Sigma sees through it all. For him, most social and romantic interactions are cluttered with invisible strings, and he won't tie himself to someone who treats affection as a tool instead of a choice. It's not distrust, it's calibration. His radar for manipulation isn't paranoia, it's protection. When he finally connects with someone, it's not out of impulse, but after careful observation of authenticity, integrity, and alignment. Genuine connection is rare because it requires someone who is both self-aware and emotionally honest. The Sigma male doesn't chase, it selects. And that hyper-awareness ensures that when he chooses, it's with someone truly worthy. Number 12, depth fatigue. Sigma males crave depth, emotional, intellectual, even spiritual. They seek conversations that challenge, connections that resonate, and relationships that are more than surface-level performance. But in a world obsessed with highlight reels, curated personas, and superficial charm, genuine depth is increasingly rare. Most people present a polished version of themselves designed to impress, entertain, or conform, and that constant veneer of shallow interaction slowly erodes the Sigma's patience. After years of meeting people whose words don't match their energy, whose presence is performative rather than authentic, the Sigma begins to experience what could be called depth fatigue. They aren't avoiding intimacy. They are exhausted by the relentless repetition of one-dimensional interactions. Engaging with shallow behavior takes effort, and emotional investment they are unwilling to expend for little return. Over time, this fatigue leads them to pull back, to stop diving into relationships that demand they sift through superficial layers to find substance. This is why Sigma males often remain single. It's not a lack of desire for connection. It's a refusal to compromise on authenticity. They've learned that most people are content to exist on the surface, and that suffices for casual engagement, but not for meaningful connection. The emotional labor required to penetrate masks repeatedly without result becomes draining. The fatigue also sharpens their selectivity. They no longer tolerate triviality disguised as depth. Every interaction is assessed for resonance, consistency, and substance. Only those who demonstrate authentic energy, intellectual curiosity, and emotional honesty are allowed past the outer layer. For Sigma males, depth fatigue is both a shield and a filter. It protects them from wasting energy on shallow connections, while ensuring that when they finally engage, it is with someone capable of matching their intensity. Their retreat from the superficial is not coldness, it is preservation, a refusal to dilute themselves to fit a world that rarely values substance over appearance. Sigma males staying single for years is not a flaw, a fear, or a failure. It's a reflection of their uncompromising standards, their inner calibration, and their commitment to authenticity in a world that glorifies chaos and superficiality. They are not cold or incapable of love. They are guardians of their own energy, masters of emotional clarity, and observers of the subtle truths most people overlook. Every pause, every boundary, every moment of solitude is intentional. They live by a principle that many will never understand. Connection is not about filling a void, it's about sharing completeness. In a culture addicted to instant gratification, oversharing, and performative intimacy, Sigma males appear elusive because they refuse to dilute themselves for convenience or appearances. Their stillness, their patience, and their depth are filters, protecting them from shallow engagement, while leaving space for the rare individuals who can meet them on equal footing. What the world interprets as distance is, in reality, precision. What is mistaken for detachment is actually discernment, and what seems like aloofness is, in truth, a profound mastery over self, emotion, and interaction. Understanding the Sigma male is not about decoding a mystery, it's about recognizing the value of autonomy, emotional intelligence, and authenticity in a society that often punishes both. They are not running from connection, they are running towards something far more meaningful, a rare, genuine, and unshakable bond that honors both their freedom and their depth. So the next time you see a Sigma male walking alone, don't mistake solitude for loneliness. Know that he is intentional, discerning, and guarding the most valuable thing a man can offer, himself. And when he finally chooses to let someone in, it is not out of necessity, obligation, or habit. It is out of alignment, trust, and true resonance. If you found this insight eye-opening, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content that dives deep into the minds of Sigma males. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Help others understand the truths behind the rarest, most misunderstood men in the world. Your engagement fuels more content like this, and together we can explore the hidden layers of human behavior that most people overlook.